has anything to say about management at CSX in Jacksonville. No one. No one has anything good to say. And, oh, Matt. Let's don't get you wrong, Matt. I remember you was one of them too. One day we was all standing out there. You was talking about David Rose and how he was a slick amongst the clique. Yeah, you thought I forgot about that one, but it came back to me. Yeah, yes, sir. Everybody talks about David Rose. He has too much power. When a man has too much power, and it's time to dethrone him. It's time to retire him. I don't care if they give him his money, but it's time to retire.
Welcome back again to another edition of News, Facts, and Comments Sunday Wrap Session. This is a special report that I'm doing on this, what they call Easter Monday. I'm sorry I was not able to bring the broadcast to you guys on yesterday, but here we are here on Monday. Do me a favor, if you're joining me right now, go ahead and give me a like. Hit the like button for me, and then go ahead and subscribe as well. As we are waiting for our distinguished guests to come into the studio, we're going to go ahead and continue to listen to what this gentleman has to say. But before we do that, let me go ahead and preference what's going on here. Imagine being on your job and going about your day and being approached by your supervisor or your manager. And then subsequently, you find yourself in front of a supervisory board, and you're told that you're going to be fired because you have not learned the ways of the company, and you cannot seem to follow company policies and procedures. So we're going to have to let you go. Imagine that happened to you. What will be your response? That is the situation right now with my next guest that's going to come up, Mr. Bobby Worthy. He is a member of the NAACP in Georgia, the Georgia chapter. He's also a former member of the New Black Panther Party, and he's also the founder of the Justice League United. So I'm going to go ahead and allow us to continue to listen to what Brother Worthy had to say a couple of months back when he was first left the company One CSX. While we're waiting on him to enter the studio, we'll go ahead and continue to watch the video.
Or let's see, yep, all of the slick amongst the cliques have made the Jacksonville yard, have created a hostile work environment of hatred toward management. And the CEO has been notified, and he hadn't even take the time to reach out to me to see what's going on. That already tell you he's a part of the slick amongst the clique. But one thing about it, he will reach out when I file this lawsuit against their ass. So the things I've done already is I've scheduled the march for April. Y'all can go in the description and get it. 10,000 man march. I want y'all to share it. I want y'all to be it. I want y'all to join the outside union, especially those in phase 2 training. I want you to join the outside union. But all conductors, all conductors, current, coming on, if you're getting hired for CSX, you make sure you study this manual. You make sure you go through this manual. This is what's going to have some kind of protection against you, against rogue management, racist management. Because see, people don't understand racism comes in many forms and fashion. You can be a racist against your own people. You can be a racist. White can be racist against white. Blacks can be racist against blacks. And vice versa. So you tell me, is it favoritism or racism? I'll let y'all be the judge. because the judge definitely going to be the judge. And guess what, people? When we go into court, believe that. Like I said, I'm going to sue you till you get tired of being sued. And if that don't work, David Rose, especially you. And if that don't work, I'm going to sue your mama for having you. And if she ain't here.
So that was Mr. Bobby Worthy of Justice League United. And I believe he's now in the studio. Let's go ahead and welcome Bobby Worthy. How you doing, my brother?
I can't hear you. Hold on, I'm trying to connect my Bluetooth. Hold on. All right, hold on.
So, yeah, like I was saying before, imagine that just coming, coming to your job expecting to do your 8-hour shift, your 12-hour shift, maybe even some overtime, what have you, and then your supervisor walk up to you, tap you on the shoulder, and tell you, your services are no longer needed, and throw in a bunch of lies to go along with it. Nothing has been documented, no previous warnings or anything. Brother Wordy, can you hear me now? I can hear Brother Worthy, but he's having trouble hearing me, and he just logged off. So yeah, so imagine that. Just on your job, minding your own business, going about your way, and with no warning, no write-ups, no formal write-ups in your jacket, in your folder. Just let go. I know that um I was let go on the job at one time, and my feelings was kind of hurt in the beginning, but I saw the writing on the wall. I knew that the company was going to have to downsize. I knew that the company was going to have to do some restructuring in order to survive. But I just thought that my job was secure after speaking with upper management and them telling me, "Hey, your job is secure." But lo and behold, it wasn't. So let's try to get Brother Worthy back up again. Brother Worthy, can
I'm
you hear
here.
me?
Yeah, I hear you, but I hear you.
Okay,
All right.
so yeah, so you could just jump right on into it. I was just sharing with the listening audience. You know, I let them listen to a bit of your video that you put up on Facebook, right? Right after you left one CSX. And so if you want to go ahead and let us know what happened after this video that you see, and what's going to take place, and walk us up to April 1st. What's going on?
April 2nd. Okay. All right, bring us up. All right, yeah. Well, first of all, former conductor for CSX Railroad. Is in my second phase of training. Under the under the contract terms that we have on the second phase. First phase is Atlanta, where you go through 5 weeks of training. Very few selected that make it. They actually graduate because it's kind of very strict, but and safety, as they say. But anyway, second phase training is a little bit more lenient. Second phase training, you under contract to be paid a certain amount of money, no matter what, no matter how many hours you work or how many days you work, whether you work none, 3 days or no days, you get the same salary until you do your like 60 days markup. So I was in my second phase of training, and I was going to a safety class that morning on December the 18th, 2023. I was called in there by the training officer, called out the room into the office where the mentor was there. My mentor was there. The training supervisor was there, and the vice president, um, uh, vice superintendent was there. Um, and he was explaining to me that I had committed some unsafe moves that one of the MTOs, which is David Rose, had consulted with me before hand. And I explained to him, first of all, David Rose, I never spoken to David Rose. David Rose is a pathological liar because he's never spoken with me. And so basically on that note alone, I was very intimate about, hey, he never spoke to me. They came, the training supervisor came angry, jumps up and like comes toward me. And I told him it's not that serious, but you better be glad I'm not like I used to be 10 or 15 years ago. But you came toward me like that in an angry manner because I told the truth about your pathological lie. He's a liar. And then if it was like that when I was younger and you'd have jumped up like that, I'd have kicked you to sleep if you'd have came toward me like that. I said, because it ain't that serious. And I said, I learned one thing I learned in the military is when you put when you put two assholes together, you'll know what assholes is lying. So I just was talking to all of them and say, hey, why is he not in here? He's there. The guy that said he talked to me was there. He was outside. So why wasn't he in the office with the slick amongst the clique? That's when I told him I knew. This is what I learned in the military. Two assholes together, you find out what asshole is lying. So y'all are slick amongst the clique. That's why he's not in here, because you know you'll be able to tell he's a liar because you already know he's a liar. Thus, I told him, okay, I'm fine with it. I'm not mad. I'm not angry, but I'm gonna show you what it's like to fuck with the devil underneath the pale moonlight and excuse my language. But long story short, and now we're here. I sent the CEO of CSX a letter certified court processor. He was served. His in return, his response to me was calling the lawyer. The lawyer sending me a cease and desist letter telling me that his clients are prepared to take legal action. So I sent him a video and a letter explaining to him, oh, well, that's great. Your clients are prepared to take legal action. I'm preparing to take legal action. Beat me to the courthouse, because ain't no coward in my blood nowhere. You got the wrong one. So thus now we're having the march against CSX former conductors on April the 20th, press conference tomorrow, April the 2nd, 10:30 a.m. In Jacksonville, Florida, where we're going to have conductors that have been fired. One of the conductors that was fired was 22. He's not going. I don't know if he's going to be there tomorrow, but he's been there 22 years. 22 years. And they fired him for the same thing. So when I first started working there, they told me, watch this one guy, David Rose, because he is slick amongst the clique. If some reason he don't like you, he gonna find a way to fire you. So now so many other conductors are coming forth, present, current, and past, are coming forward with the same mess about the same old thing about the same MTOs, the rogue management of Jacksonville Terminal CSX, Moncrief Yard, and all that. So somebody becoming, but people are scared to speak up because they don't want to be targeted and fired. Some of these guys, 15, 22 years. Like I said, the chairman of the union, they fired him. He was at the house on his rest time, his break, his lawful break, and the same MTO called his house and he cussed him out and they fired him. CSX has no jurisdiction over me at my house. And then he not only did he called his house on his break, that's violating federal law. So it's uninterrupted rest you're supposed to get. So he was all in his rights to cuss him out, and they called him at his house and they fired him. And he's the chairman of the union. So that it was a play to, hey, okay, this goes to all your union workers. A union has no power outside of CSX. They have no power from within. They have no power to seek accountability for rogue management. They can do whatever they want to do. They can violate all the safety rules they want to, do whatever they want to. And there's no accountability to them. So that's where I started the outside union. So we're going to start holding them accountable. Start having pressing charges on them, criminal charges and civil charges. We're not going to play no games, no radio. I don't play with the police, and I'm definitely not going to play with these cowards.
So what do you say to those who say, well, we really don't see what the problem is, Bobby, because Florida is a right to work state. You could be fired for any reason at any time.
Well, the thing about it is, that's those people that say that don't know the blueprint of the law. If it's discriminatory practices, then you cannot fire somebody. If it's any kind of discriminatory practice, and it's discriminatory when they choose to falsify documents, for one. If you falsify, willfully and intentionally falsify records to terminate somebody, then that right to work doesn't matter.
Okay, so, but then what about going to the EEOC? Is that an option?
I done went. I got the EEOC complaint and I got the ethics department. I haven't heard anything from either one of them yet.
So
I did that the first 15 days.
Okay, right, and rightfully so. So if you don't, are you going to do that in conjunction with filing some type of civil suit?
An injunction on what?
I say you're going to do that in filing a civil suit in conjunction with the EEOC.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely. Well, the EEOC has to give you a right to sue letter if you sue for termination of employment. So before you can sue your employer for any kind of termination, you have to wait on your right to sue letter from the EEOC. So that's what I'm waiting.
So have you been in contact with any other CSX terminal members, like in some other cities?
A whole lot of terminals, whole lot of people, but they're scared to speak up because they don't want to become targets. Because if the slick amongst the cliques, if they find they don't like you or do any reason and you step up, then they become targets and these people fire. So the CSX1, I did a video also. CSX1 is not about safety. It's not. That's a concept that they got the blueprint out to the world. Because you walk down any just go somewhere in your terminal, somewhere where there's a railroad track, and walk down that railroad track a few yards and see its safety. Conductors have to walk 5 and 10 miles in conditions, bad weather. We have to walk in with debris where they tear up the tracks and throw all metal debris and all that. And I sprained my ankle several times. I just didn't say nothing. Walking at night, pitch dark, you got just a lantern and flashlight. You can't hardly see all that stuff, and it's very dangerous for conductors. So my thing, if you're really about that safety thing, then why not? When you mess up these railroad tracks, why don't you clean up those railroad tracks instead of just throwing all the metal and debris and hoses and wood, all that right there? We have to walk over them, can't hardly see them sometimes.
Wow. So this is so you guys are, so the employees are complaining about the management not following their own policies and procedures, and because you complain, management in turn retaliate by issuing pink slips.
Well, not impeachments. This is an employer. If you file a complaint, then you'll become a target. Exactly, and because there's no accountability in the rule book for management violating the rules, none whatsoever. But the employee operating manual is for all employees. I had a same MTO almost hit me speeding on the yard and didn't stop at all and just kept going at all. Didn't stop, slow down, nothing. I done saw them, the train masters and the MTOs, all the supervisors, I done seen them reaching down in the switches. You're not supposed to reach your hands down in those switches. It's a violation of safety. And the first thing they say is that the manual don't apply to them. But that manual apply to every worker at CSX, every employer for CSX.
So has the lawyers for the management, they sent the cease and desist letter. You sent the response. Have you heard back from them?
No, he ain't gonna respond to me because it's not the way I respond. It wasn't pretty. Because like I tell him, I'm not a coward. Don't care nothing about you. Beat me to the courthouse. Because definitely we going. You can believe that. Okay. But one thing I won't stand, I won't tolerate is a liar, especially when they lie on me. So they all worried now. A few of them worried. They didn't. I get people telling me on the terminal they trying to get people to turn on me and all that. That's a coward move. I give them the same opportunity I give anybody else. Anybody. Y'all know everybody know the background. All you got to do is sign the waiver claim in that cage with me, and let's see if you want to talk about it.
So let's go back to when they summoned you into this room and want to have a conversation with you. You mentioned that you previously spoke with other CSX employees from other cities or other stations or ports, right?
Yes.
Have they confirmed that it's common protocol for you to be brought before such a panel before they let you
That's
go?
not such. It's not a panel. It's just that there's not that. That's something for the. That was just management getting together doing what they got to do. Because in the second phase training, they don't have to have a reason to reject your application. That's what they're going on. But if that reason is based on a lie, then that's when it becomes a violation of the law.
Gotcha. And so they're hoping that they could have gotten rid of you before the training part was over.
Yeah. So, but they're thinking. But the thing about it is, the union, even like me, I had to get my union. They did help me. I had to get my union to get all my pay, because like I said, we was on the contract. We get paid 1 day, 2 days, we get the same pay. Nothing changes. So when they fire you, they try to take some of your pay. So how many employees have they done like that in the past and in the future, and still doing, and those that's coming in the future, that they keep doing like that?
So you said
that they owe money. They taking people money.
So you said the union helped you get some of your money back?
They got all my money back. They got all my money that's supposed to get. I was on a salary to get a certain amount of money. CSX tried to cut it, and the union stepped in and stopped that. They get my whole check. But the thing is, because we're on that contract, we're on the contract for a certain amount of money, and you can't touch that money no matter what. No matter if I work 2 days or 3 days or 2 days, you can't touch that money. I get paid the same. So when you say they fire you during the week, they say, well, we're not going to pay you the whole thing. Yes, you is. That's the contract. But see, that's what I'm telling all the unions I'm talking to. This is something y'all need to address, because they got my money. All these people, and a lot of people they ain't like me. They don't speak up. They don't care. They just go. So how many people CSX has actually stolen their money and kept it? That's thieving.
Yeah. So if the union helped you get your money back, why are you saying that there needs to be an outside union? What's the need? Explain.
The outside union is where the union can't take it no further. The union can't do anything to hold management accountable for their actions. They have no accountability whatsoever. And the union has no power if they work for the same people. You know what I'm saying? I think unions should be people that's really out. The union should be outside. No employees that work for that union, because all they got to do is do like they did. They target my chairman of the union and fired him, and he's been there 22 years.
So when they fire you after 22 years, do they still give you a pension or no?
No, you have to fight for it. The union, most of those guys are going before investigations with the union inside, and some of them negotiate a deal to bring them back, and some they don't bring back, and it just depends on how they negotiate the thing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But CSX always going to try to make their negotiations the best for them, not for you.
So I want to go back to when you was speaking with those individuals who were explaining to you they're getting ready to let you go or terminate your employment, and you mentioned that a gentleman was walking
terminate.
You mentioned that a gentleman was coming up to you in a threatening manner because you called him a liar. Was that correct?
No, that's a manager. A training manager didn't come up to me. I didn't call him a liar. I said the one that said David Rose is the one that wasn't in office. He is the one that said he spoke to me several times, and he has never ever spoken to me about anything unsafe. See, when you're second phase, they're supposed to consult with you tell you, hey, you did an unsafe move, don't do it again. If you do it again, they have a right to reject your contract and then terminate your employment. So in second phase. So with that said, then he put documents in my file and others I found out that they didn't even write ups that they didn't even know. So he said that he consulted with me about an unsafe move last week. So they said I just did that same move again. So that's what they used to try to terminate me, but that was a lie because he never spoke to me. So when I said he's a liar, I never spoke to him. The training supervisor jumps up, didn't come toward me, but lunged like he was coming that way. And that's when I stated that.
Okay. So the management is not following their own protocols, and the union can't do anything for us to stop the management from firing individuals just at will, because basically I think it's because it's a right to work state. But so you're saying you're gonna
Not because it's basically a right to work state. It's
okay.
different. We under contracts. We are contracts because it's a government contracts. So we under contract, and the right to work does not have a thing to do with you find someone when you do it in repeated patterns of falsifying documents. Then the right to work does not apply.
Okay, so your main complaint with the EEOC is that you were terminated because of due to CSS falsifying documents.
Yes, based on lies.
Because they basically, it seems like to me, it was a lack of supporting documents to support the termination.
No, they didn't have nothing. They're sure they got it in the file now. They have nothing then. Not at all. They had something written on a piece of paper.
Yeah, but if it's in your file now, you would have to have signed off on saying that it was presented to you.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but like I said, a lot of guys that I've talked to that was fired got write-ups in their file, didn't even know they was there from the same management. So it's a pattern in practice that keeps going on. It's time to stop it.
So let's talk about what's happening on tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in Jacksonville at Mount Sinai Missionary Church.
Press conference to talk about the rally, about road management tomorrow at 10 a.m. in Jacksonville. Have a press conference in detail talking about the things that have been going on in CSX that's been hidden from the public, and also the discuss the march for April 20th, the march on CSX.
And at the march on CSX, what's on the agenda?
The marching on CSX. we're gonna show up in numbers and forces, and of course we're gonna speak and all that stuff. So it's just the march to show up to show people what's going on in CSX, to bring awareness and attention. The marching and protesters don't change nothing unless you got some effective change. So we're hoping that the march and the protests it be big enough and make enough noise that CSX will stand and take it, stand a note and look at it and say, hey, we need to look into this.
So CSS's headquarters is in Jacksonville, Florida?
Yep, downtown Jacksonville.
And so have you reached out to anyone in headquarters?
I sent this chief, the president and CEO is letter by certified court processor. He got the letter. And when he got the letter, he in turn, instead of responding or trying to find out what's going on, he had his lawyer send me a cease and desist letter.
Oh, I thought that letter came from one of the management there at the...
No, that letter came from their lawyer.
From headquarters.
From CSX lawyer.
At headquarters. Yeah, okay, I got you. Why you?
Yeah.
Wow. So this is something. So I suspect they probably know what you have planned.
They know because they're trying to stop it.
Okay. So you, of course, I know you're probably working with the local officials to hold this press conference.
Huh?
Are you working with the local officials to hold this press conference, or are you just going to...
Local officials who?
like the local law enforcement officers?
Nah, for what? They ain't got nothing to do with this. I wish they would come in there. They ain't got nothing to do with this here. When I see them at the rally when we march, then they can come. Other than this here, this ain't got nothing to do with them
Okay.
at all. It's at
Right.
a church. Ain't got nothing to do with them. They come in there wrong, they gonna get thrown out. Point blank.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, okay, well, my brother, I really do appreciate you coming in and explaining your situation to the listening audience. You know, we are with you 100%. In this day and hour, people are fighting for their jobs. On the front with trying to fight against these immigrants, and here it is. We have a well-established company trying to just ignore rogue management and destroying the lives of the employers, of the employees that in the process. So that's very,
Yeah,
very disappointing. But my
it's a
brother,
lot of
go ahead.
there's a lot of employees there's a lot of these guys that give up good jobs to take this job with CSX only to get to the next level to get fired because of ignorance and stupidity of the road management. And that's why I'm going to put a stop to. If the CEO can't handle that and do what he's supposed to do, then he need to take his ass back to Ford Motor Carrier because this is dealing with trains, not cars. He with the Ford, I think he was with Ford Motor Company or something like that, man, some management or something like that.
So I see here your press advisory, letting everyone know to come out on April 2nd, 2024, to take a stand and to basically plan for the rally on April
Yep,
20th.
yep, that's it. Get
So
it going.
my brother, I want to salute you for having the courage to stand up to this big corporation. This is not anything small. What
They
you're
sure,
attempting to do,
they
and
sure
so
ain't small.
um, I wish you much success on this and CSS to um, do some internal investigations on their management teams and try to do away with this good old boy system of turning the other cheek when we're not being held accountable. I appreciate your efforts once again, my brother. And I'm gonna have my eye out tomorrow looking for that press conference. Hopefully I can be able to get a feed in so I can have that in a record for news, facts, and comments.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so once again, we want to see if anybody who's in Jacksonville, Florida, you want to take part in this press conference. April 2nd, that's tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Mount Sinai Missionary Church, Jacksonville, Florida, 2036 Silver Street. Join Brother Worthy and others, former CSX transportation employees, as they discuss their plans to march on CSX on April 20th. Brother Worthy, any closing remarks you wanted to let the people know about? Anything that I missed?
That's it. That's it. With the outside union I started is just started with the railroad, but it's for anyone who want to join, pay the membership fees, monthly membership fees, who want to join, no matter where you're working. The outside union can come and help. I don't care what your state laws say. There's always something to counter that. I assure you.
So for more information on what we just talked about, the march on CXS happening on March 20th, go to Facebook. And that is on, I believe it is the march on CSX. If you just type that in, it's going to bring up
Yep.
that event. Let Brother Worthy know that you're going to be in the building or in the streets marching on CXX on April 20th. So yeah, brother, this is fantastic. I love to see our people putting their power where their mouth is. So once again, my brother, wishing you much success on this. And anytime you want to come back and give us some updates, please feel free to do so.
All righty.
All right, my brother, you be safe out there.
All right, peace.
And be safe tomorrow. Shalom. So that was our brother Bobby Worthy. We want to let you guys know that when you see stories such as this, when you hear about stories such as this, it's imperative that we share the stories to let other brothers and sisters know that you don't have to be a victim to injustice, whether it be on the job or whether it be, in just in the streets. You can take a stand and you can let your voice be heard in a respectful manner, in a lawful manner. And that's why I give all honor to this brother, because he believes in using the pen to defeat the oppressors, using their laws to defeat them when they try to do some illegal acts against us. So that's gonna pretty much do it for me. I'm gonna leave you with these kind words that, of course, I love you all with the love of Yahuwah. Take care of yourself and each other. Until next time, that is a wrap.